I mean, it was a pretty impressive sort of production, to be
Yes,
honest.
it
So I was
was.
like, they got like he's got like a proper producers around and all that. Like I thought it was pretty. Look, I didn't get it as much. I think I don't know his full story, so I don't get it. So I don't want to knock him too much. I know he does give roses. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, like whether it's an audition for The Bachelor. I don't know exactly what it is, but it was very well done. I don't know. I don't get. I know he gives a rose, so
I think it's a Matador
that means
thing.
he's giving me the rose as well.
Mata-
Maybe there's a bigger meaning. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the Matadors.
Because he's a Matador.
Yeah,
all right.
exactly.
And
yeah.
what do they do stuff with roses?
Yes.
They do stuff with roses, do they?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. So there's probably a bigger story behind it. Yeah, I missed that at first. It just looked pretty romantic, to be quite honest. But yeah, so I mean, it was well done though.
What do you make of Ilia? Do you are you a fan of his style? Do you feel like he is being rushed in this spot? Has he earned his stripes?
I think maybe rushed. That doesn't mean he's not. That doesn't mean he's. I'm not saying he's that good, but I mean, like he could be as good as he's saying. He could be as good as what everyone's saying, but he hasn't been able to prove that yet. So that's what I say when he's carrying on like, how good am I? It's like going, look, you could be that good. Maybe February you show me that, but till then, till you're first someone at this level. No offense to him, but he hasn't. And until you show the world and myself something different to what you've done, like don't get me wrong, again, I still think he's a great fighter. But I mean, it's just the same with Ilia turning up to all his fights. I haven't seen that elite stuff yet. You know what I mean? He might be able to show that February. So, I'm not trying to knock him, when I sit there and it's just, you'd think the way he's carrying on that, mate, he's knocking out everybody. No one wants to fight him. Like literally the way I got to the title, or you know what I mean. Like you'd think he's, just doing what all these other guys, which he hasn't. You know what I mean. And again, that doesn't mean he doesn't deserve it. He is clear the next guy, but he needs to do something February to sort of show elite level. He needs to show us something because right now I haven't seen it. And again, it doesn't mean he's not elite. He might be in the gym. He looks like he's a durable, tough, how could I say, fundamentally very well in all aspects of the game. Durable. He probably gets a lot of guys in there. He's probably always going to be a hard round for these guys. You know what I mean? So he's going to be tough, even if he wants to train with guys a little bit bigger, like I do myself. But then there's going to be levels where you need more than just need to be fundamentally sound. Like if he thinks he's going to be able to out wrestle me, with what I've seen, like you know what I mean. Like he needs to show more than what he's done with the wrestling, a lot more. If that's going to be a threat submission wise, a lot more. Because if he's going to go out there and be able to dominate me like that, that's in a sense where take me down and submit me. It's never been done before. So he's showing something that like no one's been able to do. So, and if he's that good and he goes, all right, he can show us that. But I haven't seen him do anything more special than any other of the guys that I've faced. Doesn't mean he's not that good, but he needs to show me that. And then with the striking, again, durable, powerful dude, very fundamentally sound, well trained. But again, just it's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. That's all. I'll leave it at that.
I'm wondering if you think the UFC wants him to win, and the reason I asked this question is because, as you know, some people have to take the long, hard road to even get to a title shot. Scratch and claw. Look at the likes of Arnold Allen. Couldn't even get the title shot, right? He had to fight a Max Holloway, and then or a guy like Leon Edwards, or a Tony Ferguson. And as you say, there's no like signature number one contender win there. And so, do you feel like that's part of the reason why he's getting this?
Oh, man, there's a few things. Obviously, he's the clear guy. I even, everyone's, he might act like, oh, yeah, I'm like, man. Put it this way, if I didn't probably do that face-off with him, and me mentioning his name, he probably wouldn't have got it as easy as he did. But as I've made it clear time and time again, I want a number one contender. So I'm the one pointing out these guys. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do it next, bang. I'm like pretty much calling for my next fight straight away, and I did the same after Yair, and obviously calling out Ilia. So he was always going to be clear. But the thing is, yourself, the UFC, they're clever dudes. They're obviously, you know what I mean. There's so many steps ahead. Like, they obviously cover, if this happens, then we do this, this, this. If this happens, we do this, 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 this. So do they have plans for him? Of course, they have to. They have to see what's next. But I mean, I'm sure they've got plans for my case. I go out there and dominate, which I plan on doing. There's obviously going to be plans moving forward for them. You know what I mean? I guess we've got to see who would be next. That's a good question. But you get what I mean? They obviously levels and steps ahead. And that's just how it works. So I'm sure they got plans. I think he mentioned about Spain. I reckon that is something, a possibility. I'm sure they want to go over there. I'm sure it's a big market. He's got a big following over there. So at least he gets a title fight and gets to build a bit of hype there. He ain't getting the belt, so I'm going to ruin all them plans. But at least he gets to boost a bit of hype over there for the next few months. But I promise you it ends there.
I know this may be a hard question to answer, but I'll ask it anyway. Sometimes when someone is coming off their first, stoppage loss, they turn into a different fighter. GSP talked openly about this, how the loss to Matt Serra changed him for a very long time. Is there any concern in your mind that you are now a different fighter as a result of what happened in October?
No, I've never been careless anyway. You know what I mean? I'm not a careless fighter. We're always strategizing, and obviously the goal has always been hit them and not get hit. I might, I wouldn't say I don't take risks. Obviously, you're going to put yourself, I might throw a lot more offense and you might get hit sometimes, but there's always strategy behind it. So I'm like, for me, I don't go in and be careless. I think that is the case for a lot of fighters that go in and, and just sort of K1 style it, or however you want to say, like sit in front of each other and just throw bombs. All of a sudden, they don't want to do that anymore. I can see that. For people, but for me, I've always been strategy. Strategy's always been a big game planning's always been massive for me. So I'm just going to stick to my game plans like I always do. You know what I mean? So put it this way, I'm going to pull the trigger a lot more than I did in my last fight. Let me tell you that, because I didn't pull the trigger once. So, so I'm not worried about that at all. Obviously a lot of people are, is this the downhill, spiral now? He's fighting an undefeated prospect. It's a cool story. I'm excited. I'm sure everyone's pumped up for it. I can't wait to show you that I'm still that guy, and looking forward to it. But, make sure you tune in to everything. I think we're going to be doing a press conference and all that soon. I don't know if I just sort of announced that, but anyway. So we're going to be doing a bit of hype around it leading into it. I'm sure he's going to talk his smack. It's going to be exciting. And if you love me, you're going to get to see me do work and shut this fella up. If you don't like me, you're going to be disappointed that I showed this little fella up. But I love you anyway. Cheers.